let Colonel Rathore respond to your charge that this is essentially being done to reduce the pension liability, that there is this thing that because of OROP, the pension budget of the armed forces is ballooned to about 7,200 crores, an aggregate of about 42,000 crores. You want to reduce that liability, and therefore you have come out with this elaborate scheme, and this impacts the functional fighting capabilities of the armed forces, because these soldiers are effectively available for under 3 years.
Is that question
Colonel Rathore
posed to me?
Oh, is that to me, Rahul?
Yes, Colonel Rathore.
Oh yeah, thanks, Rahul. Thank you, Rahul. I'm happy you raised that point, Rahul, of where an average age of 35 is now coming to mid-20s. Now, another point that I must mention here, that it's not about getting old. It's not just the age. It's also the risk-taking ability. This Indian Armed Forces is not a decorational force. It is not for only marching on the 26 January on Rajpath. It's a fighting force. It is the cutting edge. It's the last call for a nation. It's when you want to annihilate your enemy. It needs risks. It needs a dynamic force. And that is why we need to bring that age down, where a youngster will be able to take that risk in a jiffy. And that is how this nation will remain protected. Now, this is not just about, this is the most useless way of looking at something that the Indian Armed Forces has thought of for 2 years. And the opposition says, oh, it's for reducing the bill. Now, undoubtedly, it's going to modify and modernize the Indian Armed Forces. It's going to bring down that age, which is so vital, which I just mentioned. But imagine now, visualize 10 years from now, when some of the Agniveers, the best will remain in the armed forces. How good the armed forces will become. And those who will go out, imagine they'll go to CRPF, BSF, they'll go to police. It'll be an extension of the armed forces. When there'll be an opportunity for the armed forces to integrate with the civilians, it'll be a very united force. Also remember, these Agniveers, every village in India will have 2 to 3 Agniveers in 15 years from now. What a fantastic disciplined force the country will have. It's improving the society, it's improving the national security, it's improving the armed forces. Okay. It is giving a 24-year-old the best platform it can be in India.